Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Colorado Virtual College Fair. We're excited that you're here. We're going to wait just a couple more minutes and let all the students file into the room, and we will get started here in just a minute or so. Okay, I think we're going to go ahead and get started. So welcome everyone to the Colorado Virtual College Fair. We're excited that you're here. We have a great session for you tonight with some fun colleges and great presenters. So I know you're going to learn a lot about these colleges that you're interested in. I'm just going to go through a few housekeeping announcements before we get started. First, your camera and microphone are turned off, so we can't see you or hear you, so don't worry about that. Hopefully you can see and hear all of us okay. If not, just send a message in that Q&A box and we will help troubleshoot that with you. The best way for you to engage with our presenters tonight is through the Q&A button that's on your screen. You're welcome to ask questions anytime throughout the session to any of our presenters. It doesn't have to be just the college that's presenting. Everyone will be monitoring questions throughout the whole session and happy to answer those as well. Don't forget, this is just one of many different sessions happening, so be sure to sign up for additional sessions you might be interested in. And then the presentation is being recorded and will be available within about a week at the same website that you registered for. So you can find this session and all the others at that time as well. So I'm going to show you next what our schedule looks like tonight. We are in the session F7 down here, so we are going to be hearing from the University of Southern California, University of the Pacific, Westmont College, Chaminade University of Honolulu, Hawaii Pacific University, and the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. So some great options, excited that you're here, and we are going to kick things off with the University of Southern California.
Awesome, thanks. So first off, I guess I just should introduce myself. My name is Kelsey Bradshaw Carroll. I'm one of the associate directors at the University of Southern California. My pronouns are she, her, and hers. And I'm really excited to get to talk to you all today about my alma mater and the place I've called home for over a decade now, which is kind of scary, but really, really excited to get to show you some pictures of campus and hopefully answer some questions as well. So at the University of Southern California, we consider ourselves a large private research institution. Large meaning we have about 20,000 undergraduate students enrolled in our population. But with that large number, we still really focus on providing you a small hands-on experience. So with a small student to faculty ratio and a small average class size, you'll still get to know your faculty members, you'll get to know your classmates, your professors, your advisors, that are all really important to providing you that experience and making sure that you have really great references, experiences, letters of recommendation, and advising mentorship as you go through your time at USC to take that next step on to your first career. There are 6 points, and I'll go through them quickly, that we think about the USC education. So in terms of interdisciplinary studies, there are 17 different schools at USC that offer bachelor's degrees. So everything from STEM, engineering, the natural sciences, to the arts, the humanities, music, and everything in between. There's a lot of really amazing programs. Last count was like 180 different majors and 180 different minors. So there's a lot of different things for you to explore and a lot of space for you to do that. About a third of your time at USC will be spent using sort of elective credits. So if you wanted to double major and minor, just take some fun classes, you have a lot of space to do that. We also really focus your education on research. So getting that active learning component where students can apply what they're learning in the classroom, but also get a sense of what their field looks like outside of textbooks, outside of the classroom, and what your future careers might look like as well, and how you can infuse research into your day-to-day studies. Another big piece of our experience at USC is the global perspective. So in non-COVID times, most students will go abroad. About 2,000 of our students will be abroad in any given semester. And we take that into the classroom as well. We want you to understand what your field looks like in the textbooks, but also in different countries and how that's influenced by different backgrounds and religions and languages that are spoken. All of that takes place on a really vibrant campus with a pretty solid campus life. There's like 1,100 different clubs and organizations, everything from dance companies and comedy troupes to political, religious, cultural organizations, all housed within a really strong undergraduate student government. That all takes place in Los Angeles. So you have an amazing city to get to know, to get to experience lots of different cultural events, comedy shows. The heart of the entertainment industry is here, as well as tons of different restaurants and opportunities for students to grow professionally with the connections that USC has to the city, as well as our connections to the Trojan family. So our Trojan family is our alumni network. That's not just our alums, but parents, siblings, former staff, former faculty that all really, really want to see our Trojan students doing super well at during their time at USC, and making sure that our students are flourishing, getting all the advice and mentorship that they need to go out into the world and be successful in the fields that they want to enter. In our application process, I'm sure you've heard this word a million times and you'll hear it a few more times tonight, but we practice a holistic review process, which means that your test scores, your GPA, all of those things are important, but it's the whole applicant that we're looking at. So your essays, your involvements, the things that are important to you, and the voice, the personality that you'll be bringing to campus. In fact, this year we actually are going to be test optional, so we won't even be looking at test scores if you ask us not to. So that's something that'll be a little different in our process this year. Every person in my office has a different territory, so I work with students from Colorado, and I get to know you, your schools, what the curriculum looks like, so that when I'm looking at your applications, I have some context so I can think about how you've taken advantage of the community that you're involved in and the resources available to you at your school. There are two dates I want you to keep in mind. In my mind, the first is more important than the second. If you submit your applications, the Common App and the USC supplement to USC by December 1st, that puts you in the running for all of our merit scholarships, anywhere from a couple $1,000s to full tuition. So please, please, please keep that in mind. And then if you're not interested in free money, you have until January 15th to apply. Neither of those are early decision or early action. We just need a little extra time to get through those merit scholarship applications. So that's why that deadline's a little earlier. And then the last thing I wanted to share was my contact information. If you have any questions, please feel free to shoot me an email. But I know I often get to meet you and your classmates for a significantly longer period of time on the road. So I'll be hosting a little Q&A session after all of the presentations are done today. If you want to follow that link, uscadmission.link/Colorado Fair, we can hang out and chat for a little bit on Zoom if there are other questions that I can help with. So thanks for attending and hope to see you all later.
Great, thank you, Kelsey. Okay, next up on our schedule is University of the Pacific.
Okay, hopefully everyone can see my screen and can see and hear me. Hello, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining today. My name is Corinne. I'm an assistant director at University of the Pacific. Super excited to just dive right in and just let you know all about UOP, give some information, and just know that I'll be following up with everyone today. So you'll also be hearing from me as a follow-up. So you may or may not know, University of the Pacific, we're located in Northern California. We actually have 3 campuses throughout the state of California. Dugoni School of Dentistry, located in San Francisco, is one of our campuses. We also have the McGeorge School of Law, located in Sacramento. And then we also have our Stockton campus, located in Stockton, California, which is where the majority of our undergraduate majors are located. It's also where our pharmacy school is located as well. Quick history, some fun facts, why not? We were originally established in 1851. We were actually the first chartered institution to be established in the state of California. We also had the first music conservatory to be established in the state of California. If you can see my little mouse, this is actually our music conservatory standing in the late 1920s, and it still currently stands at our Stockton campus. And we were the first co-ed institution in the state of California as well. So we were the first institution to offer education to women. Today, we've just continued to grow. We have over 100 different undergraduate majors that students can choose from. So take a gander, take a look at the different majors that we have, see if there's anything that might resonate with you as a student. Some popular majors that we offer would definitely include biological sciences, psychology, business, education. Computer science and engineering are also very popular. A kind of a key aspect to Pacific with our programs as well is we have a lot of accelerated options within many of our programs. So for example, if you're interested in maybe pursuing your master's degree in the future, we have quite a few programs where you can receive both your bachelor's and your master's degree in 5 years total. So the programs that include are education, engineering, computer science, and business accounting. Also, if you happen to be interested in possibly pursuing a humanities related discipline, such as philosophy, English, communication, history, religious studies, some type of specific language, we have an option where you can pursue and complete your degree in 3 years rather than 4. And then of course, I always have to mention that we also have an accelerated pre-dentistry and pre-pharmacy program as well. So those are probably 2 of our most competitive programs here at Pacific, but if you are interested in pursuing dentistry or pharmacy, please know that we have accelerated options for you where you can complete that in 5, 6, or 7 years total. Just generally speaking as well, our average undergraduate class population is just about 3,600 students. Average class size is about 18 students. We have a 13-to-1 student-faculty ratio, just so you know some general statistics. We always like to let our students know that just about 9 out of 10 of our students within 6 months of graduating are either fully time employed or on track to attend graduate school. So when students come to Pacific, they're not just completing their courses, not just checking off all the boxes so they receive their diploma, but they're doing so much more. Like I said, we're a smaller to mid-sized university with about 3,600 students, so we really have the opportunity to provide the resources and the support for our students to allow them to pretty much take advantage of any type of opportunity they want to while they're in college, like undergraduate research, internships, field work, of course, studying abroad, and different things like that, which all set you up for success after you graduate. We are a Division I sports team school. We have 17 men and women's Division I teams. So if you're possibly interested in playing a sport in college, keep us in mind. We definitely are an option. But we also, of course, have intramural and club level sports if you're just interested in having fun, staying fit. We also have over 150 different clubs and organizations. Those range from like professional organizations to interest-based clubs, such as, I was taking a look at our list the other day, and it ranges from like an anime club, Dungeons and Dragons club, traveling club. We have a Quidditch club where we have our students ride on brooms and play Quidditch on the quad. So there's a lot of variation, a lot of different options. No matter what, you will be able to find some type of club and organization that you resonate with. And I always recommend to my students, no matter where you go, always check out the clubs at your college, because it's such a great way to automatically start connecting with people on your campus that have a similar interest as you. So I'm going to hop right in and start talking about applying, especially for my seniors on this call. Pay attention to the deadlines because they are important. If you're interested in pre-dentistry or pre-pharmacy, those 2 accelerated programs that I mentioned earlier, please know that the only deadline for those programs are November 15th. So you want to submit your application by November 15th. For every other major other than pre-dent and pre-pharm, November 15th is our early action deadline. It's non-binding, so you don't have to come to Pacific by submitting your application by November 15th. It's quite literally just giving you an early admission decision. So if you submit your application by November 15th, you will receive your application decision by January. You'll also receive your academic merit-based scholarship total, which will range from $10,000 to $24,000 a year. And it'll also give you your financial aid package if you do submit a FAFSA and make sure Pacific is one of your schools listed. If you're not ready, that's okay. January 15th is our regular decision deadline. And if you apply by then, you find out by March or April at the latest. Keep in mind, our application is free, so there is no cost to actually apply, and we are test optional. So if you don't have an SAT or ACT score, or maybe you're not confident with your test score, that's okay. You definitely do not have to submit it to us, and it will not negatively impact your admission decision in comparison to someone who does submit it. Please know, like I said, that I will be following up with everyone here today. I'll be receiving your contact information, so I'll be following up within the next few days. Please feel free to reach out with any questions that you might have at all. Again, my name is Corinne, and I'm super excited to get to know you guys. So thank you.
Great, thank you, Corinne. Okay, next up we have Westmont College.
All right, hello everyone. Hopefully you can see me and my presentation here. So glad to be on the call today. Hope you guys are having a good evening. I am the senior admissions counselor from Westmont that covers Colorado. So I'll have the pleasure of working with all of Colorado students who apply to Westmont this year. Happy to do that. I'm kind of sad I can't go out to Colorado this year during the fall, but hopefully I'll be back soon at some point. So I'll just get right into it. We are a small private Christian liberal arts institution located in Santa Barbara, California. You can see it a little bit behind me here as well. So not a bad place to call home for college. In 2018, we were ranked #1 for all cities in America for best weather. So if you like that, it's definitely a good thing here. And last year we were ranked #3 in the world for best places to visit by New York Times. So definitely a fun spot to just enjoy nature, scenery, beach, good food. It's an amazing place to live. That's where we're at. So we're a liberal arts school, like I mentioned. This alleviates any pressure that you might be feeling about major selection or career, vocational pursuits. You don't have to have it figured out by the time you apply to Westmont. We don't expect you to have it figured out even in your first year here. So we usually joke that our most popular major is undecided, because a lot of our students come in with a lot of gifts, a lot of passions, but they're not quite sure what they want to hone in on yet, and that's totally okay. We're going to give you the time, the space, and the resources to explore widely what you might want to do, and you might be surprised by what you find. So you could come in thinking, yeah, I'm going to do engineering, or I'm going to do pre-med or history, and then 2 years later I'll ask you and you're doing English or something completely different, and that happens quite often. So we're a very interdisciplinary school. We want you to take the time to immerse yourself in different disciplines. We think that's going to make you more well-rounded in the long run and just give you a chance to try out different things that might interest you. So again, you don't have to apply as any specific major. We're one of the top 100 liberal arts schools in the country, and one of the top Christian liberal arts schools in the country as well. We are also fully undergraduate, so this is a big distinctive, I would say, for Westmont. We don't have any grad students, which means all of the energy and resources and opportunities we have to offer go directly to our undergrad students. This means more internships. About 70% of our students get an internship before they graduate, which is great. So you get hands-on real-world experience while you're here. You get good research opportunities, especially if you're in the STEM fields. So about 91% of our pre-med students get accepted into med school, and that's because they get to work very closely with their PhD professors. And speaking of that, you will have a chance to be mentored and work very, very closely with PhD professors. So that was something I was very surprised by when I was a student here. I got to go out to lunch with my professors, and they really became my friends in a lot of ways. And that just kind of blew me away and made me feel very welcomed and known, and also set me up very well vocationally. So we were recently ranked the #4 college in America for student and professor interaction. The average class size is about 17 students, and the student to faculty ratio is 11:1. So you definitely get to enjoy the fact that you get first dibs and first access to a lot of opportunities because you're the only type of student that exists here. So that's a key distinctive. We're also a Christian community, so faith is a big deal to Westmont. It has been since the beginning. 1937 is when we were founded, and the faith component has persisted and really been at the core of our character and our mission here at Westmont. We're an interdenominational school, so it's pretty dynamic in terms of how faith is represented and expressed at Westmont. We actually don't require students to sign a statement of faith to be admitted here. So it's not a stuffy or judgmental environment at all. I had friends here who had never gone to church, never read the Bible, and they were still surrounded by people who really cared about them well and were eager to kind of help them explore Christ in a new and unique way. So the main manifestations of that are chapel, which happens 3 times a week. We have 3 Bible courses that are required for all students. And then outside of that, if you want to join a Bible study group or if you want to go on a missions trip, there are a lot of immersive opportunities to grow in your faith. But that's a really key value for Westmont. Also, we're a fully residential campus. This is kind of, I think, at the heart of our reputation. What most people know and talk about with Westmont is how tight-knit and relational the community is. It's because we're a smaller school, so about 1,300 students, and about 95% of those students live here on campus in Santa Barbara. It's a very beautiful campus too, so come visit if you can. We're actually open right now, and we will be for the foreseeable future. So come step foot on our campus and kind of explore what it's like to be part of this community. But it's awesome because you don't have students who just drive here for class and then leave. It's not a commuter school by any means, so everything happens here on campus. You're going to be surrounded by 1,300 other people who are in different majors. Maybe they're an athlete and they're involved in completely different things than you, but you can be very close to them and develop really good friendships that will last. So that's great. Global focus, about 70% of our students will study abroad, so it's a big deal. All your financial aid will go with you. I got to study abroad twice, and I was only at Westmont for 3 years. So if you want to study abroad, it's a really key component for us. Finally, I'll talk a little bit about the application. Totally free to apply. You can do the Common App or our own Westmont application. We're not requiring the test this year, so that's fine if you can't do it. We need 1 letter of rec and your transcripts. We are going to interview all students, so at some point if you apply, you'll likely be talking with me or someone else on staff. Happy to do that. Our early action deadline is by November 1st, and you'll hear back by Christmas if you apply by then. Here's a little look on our scholarships. These are all merit-based, so it ranges from $15,000 to $25,000 a year. We offer need-based aid, just submit the FAFSA. And we were ranked #2 in California for financial aid offerings. So pretty good deal there. And yeah, apply today. I'm happy to talk with you anytime. You can email me, you can call me, we can set up a personal Zoom session, but I look forward to getting to know you better. Thanks.
Great, thank you, Matt. Okay, next up we have Chaminade University of Honolulu.
Okay, sorry for the delay. I'm on my laptop. I'm used to my double monitor. Okay, so hopefully everybody can see this. Aloha, my name is Crystal. I am the Associate Director here of Admissions at Chaminade University. My colleague Dior is on the chat line, so please feel free to kind of type in any questions. I'm gonna do a talk story with you today. So here in Hawaii, that means it's just kind of general by nature. It's an opportunity to share stories and laughs and kind of chit chat. And we're gonna do that and talk about Chaminade using 3 words. So you can see those in front of you: Ohana, Kuleana, and Ho'oiki. And so, yeah, let's get going. Our Ohana, we all know from Lilo and Stitch that Ohana means family, right? So our family is rooted right here in Honolulu, Hawaii. It is a beautiful place, but more than that, it is a major international city. So we really think about Honolulu as an opportunity to have a perfect immersion of East meets West. We have all of your modern day conveniences like Target and Costco, but then we have a ton of, we have a convention center, we have great concerts that are right down the street from us. We are about 15 minutes from downtown Honolulu and 2 miles from Waikiki, and we're kind of tucked away in this community called Kaimuki. So that's our local neighborhood here. Keep It Kaimuki is just kind of a fun hashtag for us to shop local, and really just reflects the nature of the neighborhood here. It's a complete walkable neighborhood. We're always getting ranked top neighborhood in the state for our food. And so I know for me personally, I love going to 12th Avenue Grill right down the street from Chaminade when I'm doing something fancy. But in general, that's all just within 3 or 4 blocks of our campus. And this right here is our campus. So it's beautiful. I'm coming to you live today from it. So you can see it's pretty great. And something that I really love about our campus is that it's really small. We have what's called a traditional campus. So it's going to be about 65 acres. And really, like, this is where our Ohana thrives. We have 1,100 students attending Chaminade. We are a small private school, and with about 19 students on average in your classes. So that is kind of a brief introduction to our ohana. I'm going to jump into our second word of the day, which is going to be kuleana. So kuleana in Hawaii means responsibility, but it also means privilege. So I have on this slide here our academic majors, and you can kind of for sure like go through and see if we have what you're interested in. But I want to talk beyond our academics, because for us, something regardless of what you decide to major in that you're going to experience is really our mission and our values. So we are a Native Hawaiian serving institution. We are a Marianist Catholic institution. And for us, what that means is we want to develop the whole student mind, body, and spirit. We believe that it is our kuleana to do so. And so that is our responsibility and our privilege, right? So we look to educate and empower our students to become leaders. We want them to fail forward, have faith, follow their passions, and to become leaders that are rooted in resilience. We're hoping that you will write today the answers to tomorrow's questions. And this kuleana that we have here as Chaminade stakeholders, it doesn't just apply to our academics, it's also going to be in your student life. So you can see here, there's some fun slides about our student life opportunities for clubs, kind of what everybody's saying, right? Like you're gonna have, regardless of where you go, you're gonna have a ton of opportunities to really dive in. But for us, I really love that we are rated #1 in the state of Hawaii for student life. And so I welcome you to continue this talk story session after today's 6 minutes are up, and talk with our current students to kind of learn more about what that means for us. We do have campus housing on campus, even though it's a tiny little campus. So I just wanted everybody to know it's not required, but we do have a bunch of different options. So it's kind of whatever you want to make out of your experience. I love that you can watch the Honolulu city lights kind of light up as the sun sets and dips into the ocean. And you can kind of do that from the floor plan that you feel the most comfortable. Lastly, I'm going to talk about our third word. Okay, so our third word is ho'ohiki, and here in Hawaii, that means to promise, right? So we are promising you that you are gonna graduate in 4 years, okay? So when we're talking about financial aid and making good sound decisions, for us, that's something that's really, really important. We take it super seriously. We will even sign a contract with our students to guarantee they graduate in 4 years. If they do not, we'll actually pay for that. And we're also, a second ho'ohiki that we're gonna give you is a promise that when you do graduate in 4 years, that it's gonna be a feeling where you leave with confidence, that you're not in a ton of debt and really weighed down by that. And so our average student, you can see right here, receives about 17,000 of scholarships and aid every single year. And so that's something that I really love. We're always trying to support our students. And so I will say we have made our application live, and I welcome you to do that knowing that we are actually full-blown test blind this year. We don't want there to be any students feeling any kind of pressure. We don't even want tests to be a conversation, so we've just completely gone blind for that. And I will be reaching out to everybody to have a free application waiver. And I think my time's kind of running up, so I don't want to go over, but I'll say ahoi ho. And so for us, that means goodbye, and I will see you again. So thank you so much for allowing me to share with you all. Mahalo and aloha.
Great, thank you, Crystal. Okay, and next up we have Hawaii Pacific University.
All right, thank you so much. And hopefully you guys can see my screen here. Aloha, my name is Christopher. I am your admissions counselor for the state of Colorado. And let's get started. So a little bit about myself. I originally am from the mainland. Colorado is my second favorite state, followed, Hawaii is my favorite state, obviously. So I moved out here in 2015, came out here for grad school. The lifestyle is fantastic. And I think for a lot of my students, they enjoy the work-life balance that HPU offers. So a little bit about our school. Our total enrollment is about 4,000 undergraduate students, and we have 50 different undergraduate programs, 17 students on average, and a 12-to-1 student faculty ratio. We're located in Honolulu, Hawaii, and we are a downtown urban waterfront campus. And wanted to show you some pictures of our waterfront dorms, preferred housing for all of our freshman students. Generally speaking, they really enjoy the waterfront views, and we've got some fantastic pictures of our dorms and some fantastic YouTube pages. They show you all campus and what it's like to be a student here downtown. All right, so this is kind of an aerial shot of where our freshmen will be living. This is Aloha Tower Marketplace. This is where we have our student-centric learning hub. The first floor is a combination of restaurants and classroom space. We have a waterfront dining facility. We have a gym. We've got dorms, residence halls on the second and third floor. We also have a waterfront lanai. You can see here on the bottom right-hand side where our students get to do waterfront yoga twice a week. So fantastic opportunities in downtown. We're right next to Chinatown, which is a vibrant, thriving community. And we're also in the downtown business district, which is great because all of our students are guaranteed internships here at HPU. And also at HPU, we encourage our students to have an interaction with our professors. We have faculty mentors here to help our students succeed after college. So you'll be assigned a dean of the college or even a faculty member to help make sure that you're on top of midterms, capstone coursework, finals, so on and so forth. And we really do focus on research. So we were recently voted as the top university in the state of Hawaii, and we do really have a hands-on learning experience. So I'm going to show you some pictures from our Kahola, which is our research vessel. So this is what our undergraduates get to do their freshman year when they come to HPU. So they're out in the ocean, they're doing sample collection, they learn how to drive the boats, they're out there with the manta rays, the sharks. We have fantastic programs on shrimp breeding, aquaculture. I actually have one of my students here, I'll show you in a second, who talks about her research with the Yellow Tang program. Statistically, we're the most diverse private college in the entire United States. If you've been to Hawaii before, you know we have students from all over the world, all 50 states, over 70 different countries represented here at HPU. Fantastic study abroad programs as well. We have 400 different programs across 70 different countries. And this is one of my students from Parker, Colorado. Her name is Sydney Brown. I read her application. She's a senior now. So she is really involved with our Oceanic Institute, and she is one of our leading research for the Yellow Tang program. Essentially what that is we have students that are working to preserve the natural habitat and the populations for our native yellow tang, but we also have fantastic programs that deal with biology, for instance. So we have students that are working on the structural and functional studies of proteins that regulate memory formation. Again, we really want to make sure our students have full resumes by the time they graduate. And again, this is a teaching institution, so 85% of our professors have their terminal degrees in their respective fields, and no graduate students teaching your coursework. Again, faculty mentors, and this year we are actually offering a classroom experience, so one of the few schools in the country to do so, but we also have a fully online and hybrid program as well. And our students have 50 different majors to choose from. Our more popular majors include biology. We have concentrations for pre-med and conservation, ecology, and evolution. Also a fantastic engineering school, nursing school, business school, and with the countries across the United States. Here are some of our pictures of students on the Kahola, for instance, out in the field, at the courthouses. Very easy to get involved as a student here at HPU. We have a fantastic residential honors program for students who want a more rigorous college experience, but also we have fantastic campus recreational program. So our students are involved with the hiking club or the HPU Outrigger Canoe Club. We also have a fantastic HPU surf team. We've got a beach tennis team. There really is a plethora of options. Hawaii is known for its work-life balance and getting out there and having fun. That's the reason that I moved to Hawaii. And I really want you guys to take this opportunity to think about reaching your dreams. And if you've always thought about moving to Hawaii like myself, I'm here to make it a reality for you. So let's do it. This is my contact information. I'm more than happy to schedule a one-on-one appointment with you, a Zoom call. I do those every single day, all day now it seems. This is my contact information. Feel free to call or text that number. Mahalo nui loa, that means thank you with love. Aloha, everybody.
Great, thank you so much. Okay, and last but not least, we have the University of Nevada, Las Vegas.
Awesome. Okay, so let me go ahead and start this. Perfect. My name is Alex Petrolia. I am an admission counselor at UNLV. The first picture on my slideshow is one of my favorites. It is a picture of campus. As you can see, the Las Vegas Strip is in the background. We are in a pretty urban setting right in the middle of the city. So if you've ever flown into Las Vegas, we're about 1.5 miles from the airport. We are one of the most diverse campuses in the nation. It's something that we take a lot of pride in. I was born and raised in Las Vegas, and we are a very culturally diverse city. And it's something that I really didn't understand the gravity of until I left Las Vegas and I went somewhere that wasn't quite so diverse. So we have students coming from about 83 different countries. As you can see up on the map, the bigger the red dot, the more students we have coming from that particular country. Similarly, we have students coming from every single one of the states here in the United States as well. We have over 300 different undergraduate and graduate degree programs. We are probably most well known for our hospitality program, being that we are in Las Vegas. Our hospitality program is ranked #1 in the country, so we have a lot of students that are coming outside of the country and within the country specifically for that hospitality program. It is a really great place to study hospitality for obvious reasons, but when you think about hospitality, there is restaurants, events, hotels, and anywhere you go. So it far extends the Las Vegas Valley. We have 3 professional schools as well. So we have the only dental and law school in the state of Nevada. Our law school is top 60 in the nation. We have the #1 legal writing program. We also have a medical school as well. And as previously mentioned, you know, the #1 college major is undecided. So don't feel like you have to have it all figured out. We have what's called an exploring major. So ultimately you're set up with an academic advisor that is well-versed in all of the majors. And you can really try out different classes to see what you like, figure out what majors equal what careers, and really find that right fit for you. We are big believers in cross-disciplinary study. So if you want to double major, major minor, that is definitely something that you can do. We do offer study abroad. We are part of an organization called USAC, which allows our students to go to a lot of different places. And we are also home to some very unique academic programs, one of them being entertainment, engineering, and design. It is a cross between 2 fields, the College of Fine Arts and the College of Engineering. I like to think of it as our very Vegas degree, but that degree program obviously far extends the Las Vegas Valley as well. One of our recent graduates from that program is the course designer for Ninja Warrior. So if you have ever watched Ninja Warrior, the course design is done by a UNLV Entertainment and Engineering Design graduate. We are also an R1 institution, so we have very high research activity going on at UNLV, and it is definitely something that our undergraduate students are encouraged to get involved with and have the ability to get involved with as well. Internships are a big focus at UNLV. The majority of academic curriculum requires that you do internships as a part of your degree program. Being that we are in Las Vegas, we are in a large global metropolitan city. So those professional experiences that you are getting far extend the valley. And being that we're the only major 4-year institution in a large metropolitan area, there are a lot of internships and opportunities to be had. A lot of our students are offered full-time positions before they even graduate. Some of our clubs and organizations, we have over 400 clubs and organizations, much like all of the other institutions that have talked today. So there's anything from those academic groups to Greek life. So if you're interested in sororities or fraternities, or special interest clubs as well, Pizza Enthusiast Club being one of my favorites, and the Lightsaber Duelist Society. And as far as athletics go, we are a Division I institution. Our 17 varsity sports compete in the Mountain West Conference. One of the most exciting things to happen recently is that Las Vegas Valley gained the Raiders. They have built Raiders Stadium, and our football team will actually be playing in Raiders Stadium. So that's something that our students really enjoy having free tickets to go to those games. And then as far as admission requirements go, we are very objective and not selective in our process. We are looking for students to have one of three things. We are test optional, so we are not requiring test scores. However, if you have them, that is something that could make you admissible to UNLV. So ultimately that 3.0 weighted core GPA or 1120 SAT score or 22 ACT score is what we're looking for. We are a part of the Western Undergraduate Exchange program. So we are, I like to say, very WUI friendly, meaning it's open to all majors. And as long as you're meeting one of our three requirements, which is an unweighted 3.25 unweighted GPA, or 1160 on the SAT, or 22 or 24 on the ACT, you will qualify for WUI. That brings down your cost of attendance to that $12,000. It's about $24,000 as an out-of-state student, but with WUI, it's going to bring you down to that $12,000. That's not including other merit-based scholarships that you might be qualifying for. It's 4-year renewable and stackable with anything else that you would be receiving. The last thing I'm going to talk about are deadlines. So that November 1st deadline is a super important deadline if you're a professional procrastinator like myself. You want to pay attention to it. Make sure that you have submitted your application, you've been admitted, submitted any supporting documents along with completing the FAFSA, or if you're not able to complete the FAFSA, alternate need form paperwork. We are enrolling admissions at UNLV, so if you pass that priority deadline, you still want to apply, our application is going to be open until June 1st. My name is Alex. I'm going to be contacting all of you. I don't have my contact information up, but it is on our website, and I will be reaching out to you. I'm super excited to get to know you all. And with that, I am done.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Alex. Okay, I'm going to share my screen one more time. To all of our students, thank you so much for joining us this evening. We hope you learned a little bit more about some of these colleges that you're interested in. I'd highly encourage you to follow up with them after tonight. I know they would be happy to answer any additional questions that you have and help you with your college search. When you close the window from today's session, there will be a link to a very quick 4-question survey. If you don't mind taking a few minutes to fill that out for us, we'd really appreciate any feedback you have, what you liked, what you didn't like, what questions you have, so that we can make these better in the future. Don't forget, this is just one of many sessions that were offered, so you can always find all of the recordings on the StriveScan website where you signed up. So again, thank you so much for coming. Have a great evening, and we will talk to you soon.